What's up YouTube, it's your boy MX Style and this is how it's going down. In this video I'm going to be telling you all about VeChain. So first of all we're going to be briefly going over what VeChain is. We're going to be doing some price analysis as well as technical analysis, a price prediction, and then also we're going to be doing some VeChain news. So it's going to be a 3-part video and feel free to skip ahead to the parts that I've time-stamped. And if you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know which coins you want me to cover next. I also do potential coin breakouts as well. So yeah, let's get into the video. So if you guys don't know VeChain, I'm going to show you what VeChain is. So we're on Lunar Crush at the moment, and this basically gives you the social sentiment of the coins that you're looking at. And essentially, in the last week, it's gone up 3%. That's nothing to how much it's gone up in the last couple of months, but we'll get into that later on in the video. VeChain's blockchain as a service platform is called Toolchain, and Toolchain is a comprehensive blockchain platform offering diverse services including product lifecycle management, supply chain process control, data deposit, data certification, and process certification. With Toolchain, any sized business can utilize blockchain technology to further enhance brand perception and value, as well as expand to new business models. So we can see that the market cap for VeChain is actually quite big. It has a 1.3 billion market cap, and that doesn't mean that there's not room for growth, because to be honest, we are in the fourth technological revolution and we're just at the forefront. So as investors, we're in a very good position. But essentially, VeChain just allows you to track the supply chain, and it's good for a wide variety of sectors such as manufacturing, food, clothing, even potentially cars and travel. So looking at CoinGecko.com, we have here just an overview of VeChain. If you guys like, you can go to VeChain's website as well to have a further in-depth look, and they do have their social media links as well. We can see that the price is down just 0.2% for the day, and the current price is at 0.02 cent. And we will get into price predictions in a bit. Just looking at the overall performance of VeChain, you can see in the last year it's gone up by just under 3x, and it's done quite well actually. It's done very well. But looking overall at its all-time high, you can see that it's down 24%. So there is still a lot of room for growth. And having said that, since the March dip and the flash crash, we are up 9x. Unfortunately, I did not get in at that point, and I'm kicking myself each and every day. But we can't, as investors, we can't get in on everything, so it's just important to stay aware. So looking at VeChain's technicals, we can see here, so I've highlighted so I've drawn the Fibonacci retracement just from its all-time high simply to the bottom. If you guys don't know, I'm in love with Fibonacci retracements right now, and we can see that we're in a steady uptrend since the flash crash in March, and we've been holding the support of the 20-day moving average, and it's been holding steady so far. So we can see that the price goes up, it holds steady and forms somewhat of an ascending triangle, and then breaks out, forms somewhat of an ascending triangle and breaks out. Hopefully this pattern can continue, and hopefully we can find continuous support at the 20-day moving average. If not, we would possibly see a retracement to the 50-day moving average, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be nice to sort of have your investment hold its value. So if you guys are looking to get into VeChain, I am personally, I'm contemplating getting into VeChain, because ultimately the trajectory of where this coin is headed is unbelievable. So watch this video and I'll keep you guys informed. So looking at the price prediction for VeChain, essentially, there's a lot to talk about, but I have briefly talked about VeChain. But VeChain is essentially a next generation smart contract blockchain platform focused on combining blockchain with Internet of Things, also known as IoT, designed to enhance supply chain management and business processes. So when we talk about IoT, think of where Tesla is headed. Think of, you know, automated cars. Think of how, you know, there's not going to be any drivers, and, you know, we'll be able to track the supply chain. I'm imagining, you know, these two companies working hand in hand together, you know, to give suppliers and shareholders information of deliveries, and, you know, that sort of ecosystem of Internet of Things, as well as, you know, driverless cars. There's very much a possibility, and I see VeChain possibly being, you know, the backbone of, you know, that sort of that world. And it is definitely possible, guys. It is definitely possible. I just think it's a matter of time. You know, we're just depending on Tesla to come up with their driverless technology, which they are also on the verge of doing. So VeChain has its headquarters in Shanghai and has already partnered with the Chinese government. So we'll get more into that a bit later on. And VeChain was founded by Sonny Liu, who is the former CIO of the Louis Vuitton in China, and he formed VeChain in 2015. Some of the uses for VeChain include being able to prove whether goods or services are counterfeit or not, and it already tracks, you know, luxury brands from individual items and prevents duplication through smart chips. If you think of, you know, luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, for example, who, you know, buy expensive leather, they don't want to be screwed over of their money. They want to make sure they're getting quality materials. Same goes for, you know, the food supply chain, where in China you've seen, you know, people use fake products and, you know, use things like cement and baby food, which is crazy. It also tracks the cold chain logistics. In fact, I'm going to put the link for this article in the description. I'm not going to go over each and every different, you know, aspect in detail, because otherwise this video will be quite long. But it covers the automobile aspect of society. It also covers, you know, carbon credits, as well as, you know, the clinical trial traceability platform, which is very, very key, as well as VeChain being a supply chain management blockchain. We've seen that it's got quite large partners. So some of the partners that I've heard of include PwC, Deloitte, Walmart in China, that is, BMW, H&M, Louis Vuitton, Amazon Web Service, and those are the only two that, well, those are the only ones that I know, but those are quite big names in and amongst themselves. And VeChain is also a master when it comes to forming partnerships and expanding the ecosystem. You know, if you think of Chainlink and how, you know, they've been performing consistently, how, you know, their data is needed for, you know, the DeFi sector in the cryptocurrency space, then 100% wholeheartedly, VeChain software and technology is definitely going to be needed in society come the future. And yeah, it's definitely a good investment, especially long term, and you see some of the potential investments that you can be making. Just to have a quick look here, this is the sort of analysis and, you know, verification you'd see step by step on, you know, each stage of the delivery process. So you can see the place of production has been verified, the you know, the approval for consumption has also been verified, the storage conditions, that's also been verified. This is you know, this is just, it's groundbreaking and ultimately mind-blowing to, you know, to see this and to watch this. So if you guys don't know, VeChain has a dual economic model. So there's a VET and then there's VeChain Thor. So VeChain uses a dual chain economic model. There's the VeChain token, which represents the value on the network, and then there's the VeChain Thor token, is used as a gas currency and is required to send transactions or perform actions on the network. And the network users don't have to worry about separately buying the VeChain Thor, as it is automatically generated in proportion to the amount of VeChain or VET held in your wallet. When a transaction is executed, 70% of VeChain Thor is permanently destroyed, also known as burnt, and 30% is given as a block reward to the nodes. And so here are some of the price predictions for VeChain in 2020, and I'm not saying these are going to happen, as some of them are ridiculously moon boy long shots which aren't going to happen for several decades potentially, and that's hypothetically, that is. But some of the predictions say that VeChain could go anywhere from 0.00463 cents to $75. Now, just to immediately say, the $75 forget that. Just forget that. That's not happening. Why do I say that? Well, for VeChain to have the same market cap as Bitcoin itself, the oldest, longest, most durable cryptocurrency, it would have to have a price of $2. So $75 is just is garbage. Don't listen to whoever tells you that. Don't listen to that. But Mega Crypto, they're saying that VeChain might hit 25 cent by the end of 2021, and possibly 61 cent by the end of 2023, which could possibly happen depending on how much mass adoption this technology takes on. It is definitely possible. The price is the sky is the limit for VeChain, to be honest. The sky is the limit. It just depends largely on how many companies want to adopt their technology, or if they have large competitors. If they're able to have a monopoly on this supply chain tracking industry, then ultimately the price will just skyrocket. And I'm not going to put a figure because I don't know myself, but ultimately, guys, I think, as this article says here, I think $1 is a more realistic price prediction for VeChain, especially with the next bull run coming up. In the short term, VeChain needs to break the psychological mark of the 2 cents mark, which will start the bullish momentum. Not to say that it hasn't started already, but just to confirm it, because we need to break out from the previous level of resistance. So if this $2 mark breaks, if this 2 cent mark breaks, then we could be on the way to 10 cent, and who knows where we'll go from there. So if you're wondering where you can buy VeChain, you can buy VeChain on Binance, you can buy it on Changelly, or you can buy it on KuCoin. If you want to buy it on Binance, then check out my link in the description, and it helps support the channel. So moving on, we're getting into some VeChain news now. So first of all, VeChain and Oxford University drive for blockchain adoption with cooperation. So the VeChain Foundation and the University of Oxford have announced an expansion of their partnership, under which both will jointly provide independent scientific advice. Both partners have developed an evaluation framework for blockchain consensus protocols to promote adoption by the industry. So it's a very bullish sign for VeChain, guys. Honestly, just imagine what the future holds for us. So the VeChain Foundation is expanding its operation with the University of Oxford. As announced yesterday in a blog post, the Mathematical Institute of the University of Oxford and the VeChain Foundation will offer independent scientific advice. In addition, both partners have published a technical paper entitled Alpha Block. As the name suggests, the paper aims to provide an evaluation framework for blockchain consensus protocols to enable an assessment of the performance of the consensus model on an industrial level. Currently, theoretical models exist to analyze the security of a given design. There's no established way to objectively evaluate the actual performance of the given consensus design. So essentially what they're saying is they're looking at ways to scale this technology and make it available for mass use, mass production. Ultimately, we're still very much in the early stages, and it needs to be usable by everyone pretty much for there to be mass adoption, for it to become widely used essentially. And the next article that we have is that VeChain enters the second project phase with Chinese natural gas giant. So I did forget to mention this, but essentially one of VeChain's biggest advantages is that it's partnered with the Chinese government, and this is good because it has government backing. But at the same time, if the government does change their mind, then it will affect how VeChain is able to perform and how they're able to carry out their vision. So the article says that, going back to the article, the VeChain Foundation and the Chinese natural gas giant Shanghai Gas are starting a second phase of the project to build an energy as a service ecosystem. In the second phase, the feasibility of the VeChain Thor integration will be analyzed as studies will be carried out to examine new financial opportunities in the energy industry. Very, very interesting to see. Back in April, the VeChain Foundation and the Chinese natural gas giant Shanghai Gas Group Ltd agreed to work closely together to establish an energy as a service ecosystem. The energy group is a big player in China and has a share capital of 4.2 billion, also roughly equating to around $592 million, and occupies around 90% of Shanghai's gas market. It also is the largest supplier of mainland It also is the largest supplier in mainland China in terms of customer size, as well as storage and transportation capacity. The partnership dates back to 2018 when Shanghai Gas, together with ENN Energy Holdings and VeChain, launched a pilot project for the LNG storage and distribution center in Zhaozan. I'm sure I messed that up, so forgive me, but it's not my language. And in April, Shanghai Gas was delighted to announce the results with the pilot project, with the expansion of the partnership beyond the pilot project being agreed. Essentially, ENN and Shanghai Gas are committed to accelerate their business processes and improve supply chain efficiency through an energy as a service ecosystem. In particular, the collaboration will also automate the energy giant's work process, including energy trading, logistics management, financial product producing, and collaboration with key energy partners. So this article is quite long. If you guys want to read it, I'll put the link in the description. But essentially, the VeChain price is very bullish because they're just partnering up with different companies left, right, and center. Together with the general market trend, the VeChain price continues to show bullish signs over the last few months. The VET chain has been one of the biggest winners in the crypto market space since the beginning of the year, and has risen from around 0.0053 cent to currently 0.0210 cent, which is nearly a 4x return on your investment. And just to look at the chart, just to be accurate, and if you invested in the March crash to where we currently are now, you would actually have a 10x return on your investment. A 10x, and this is within the space of 151 days. So this bull run, up and coming bull run, is going to last for several years, at least 1 to 2 years in my personal opinion. So imagine how high it can go, with all the partnerships that they're planning to bring in. Just imagine, guys. So that's why diversification in your portfolio is very, very key. Don't be a Bitcoin maximalist or any crypto coin maximalist, as that holds back your potential gains. What you'd want to be doing is investing in an asset, and then what you'd want to be doing is investing in an asset, and as that price increases, you can choose to take out your investment if you've doubled your money, and then you can reallocate your capital and essentially just keep on growing your funds without being too heavily reliant on one asset. But what you do need to remember with cryptocurrency investing is that when you're buying different assets, essentially the more you buy, the more risk you carry and the more room for error there is. So the fewer coins you have, then the easier it is to monitor. But that's why you want to be avoiding dodgy shitcoins essentially. And